You are now watching the 2023 season of Farming with Duffy Ag.
Welcome back to the channel. Today is the first day that, well, I had stuff to do this morning, but we didn't go right to work trucking or chopping or doing anything like that. And honestly, I got caught up on office work, which was amazing. I do quite a bit of office work when I get home after whatever we've done for the day. But eventually, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, you're exhausted and you just fall asleep sitting in the chair. So I got caught up on some office work, emails, all of the merch. We're all caught up on merch. So that's a good thing. Granted, you guys are 6 days, so we've already started the sale of the Carhartts. So if you haven't done so, duffyag.com, we got Carhartts. Yeah, go check them out. They're pre-order. Was told 3 weeks from when I give them the order to when I get them. So we will see. If not, I'm gonna hold them accountable and we'll get everybody free stuff. That's the plan at least. But, alrighty, so this morning, mowed my yard, edited video, got caught up, ran through the Mac, changed the one air filter, forgot I didn't have the other air filter. Dave Bazarian actually found it on Amazon for me. There was one left, so I ordered that. So we'll have both air filters in there. Hopefully it runs really, really nice. Blew everything out, cleaned the lawnmower up for my neighbor. It's been sitting in my shop actually. It was together and I said, hey, it's there. I just don't want to bring it down at 11 o'clock at night and wake you guys up. Or 5 in the morning, wake you guys up. So today I had time, I brought it back down. Yeah, calves are good, lawn's good, house is good. Things are actually coming together. So we are gonna go start taking the chopper apart. We'll see if we need to go trucking or what our plan is, but we got to get it ready for corn harvest. Not our corn harvest, but somebody else's. Ours is still a little ways away, so probably 2 weeks and we'll chop corn for ourselves. It is kind of weird being in October and saying that, but it's the weather we have. They were predicting like an inch of rain on Saturday. They've dropped that back to like a quarter, just over a quarter, so I'm hoping that's really it, because with the rain would have brought colder weather. And into next week, it's still saying high in the 60s and stuff like that, right up to 70s. So I think the rest of this week, we're in high 70s, almost 80s. We need that. But, alrighty, let's go get after it. So I actually stopped in here at the town sheds since Robert had my wrench set in his car from when I had the issue with this truck, actually, the fuel issue. So I stopped in here, I had to go post office, and I said, hey Robert, you want any food from Log House? So he ordered a sub in, picked that up. He is actually mowing roadsides. So we're gonna go up past our rented property here. And he actually walked into it yesterday and sent me a picture, so I'll drop the picture of the corn that he pulled. He brought me the corn. And it's looking good. We're not gonna get out and wander around in it. Not at this point, because we already got a picture of what's going on inside of it. And well, we should probably go get the chopper apart, because that's once we do that, we can go trucking and be in a good place. Alrighty, we'll jump off the road here and see. So the stuff on the right has actually made a pretty good jump. I'm thinking I'm just gonna chop it though. We're gonna see. Stuff on the left is been very good, and it's actually drying down a lot more than I thought, which is exciting. Robert, you missed some spots right along the road, but I'm sure you'll get there, right? So this stuff it's drying. I'm very happy with that ground. Robert getting right after it up here. He's done a very good job. He's coming back on his second pass here. I like the effort. I really like the effort. He's got his flashy light going. Poor old boy working right through lunch. That's why we'll just drive past him and then. Ow. Look at him. You excited? Well, pulled over. I had some lunch with Robert. He ate his subs. He's down there mowing away. We got half of ours. Sounds like a helicopter. Oh, yeah, way up there. All right, let's go mess with the chopper. What are you doing today? Are you more excited to see him or me? Let's see where I stand on this one. So, what we gotta do, get this bad boy off of the low boy and take the head off. Pull everything we pulled apart the other day. I'll give you guys probably a more rundown as I'm doing it for people that are new to the channel. And once we do that, throw the kernel processor in. Probably should feeler gauge it. I think it's probably set pretty much perfect. But throw the kernel processor in and throw it all back together. Put the corn head on. Probably I gotta check through the corn head quickly on a few things, but nothing too crazy. Those bolts that like to break, probably change all those out. But old girl ran good. Ran two jobs. I don't even know how many acres. Supposedly the one was the one 80 acres. I don't think it was 80 acres. I don't know. 100 plus acres it ran, so not too bad for coming out of retirement in the bushes and just going to work. So I'll get it started up because no point in dropping it right here, the low boy, because we got to get to that head. So we'll straighten her out. And okay, detached. I'm getting good at that. Chain it, put the blocks, take it off. What I'm gonna do is actually take the feed rolls off with the grass head, because I've done that a few times. That way it's one less thing that I actually got to hook on with the forks and mess around, and then once I put the KP back in, I can hook back on. Makes it easier when you're by yourself doing that. When we put the grass head back on, we got to remember to tighten that chain up that runs everything. I see it sagging. I needed a socket to do that when I did the slip clutch, and I just said I'll run with it. So did run really good with the slip clutch. Tightened up. Just some of those wads we got to be careful with. Yeah, still they're working out the learning curves of the new merger, and it's the nature of it. So different machines run different ways, and they think they got it figured out why it does that, and the speed of the pickup versus ground speed versus belt speed. There's a few variables in it, and how wet the crop is. 5 minutes, belts off. The claws that grab the bottom, those are loosened right up. Took the controls for the gearbox off, and really put the leg down. So if I drop the head now, I can get in here, and then we just loosen these clamps when they go forward. Should shut this because it might bend something. When we set it down, should be easy enough to loosen those, and then we can back up, and the whole feed rolls, I guess the feeder house, and the grass head, and it will sit here. Then we can back into the shop, take the cutter housing out, and yeah, got that out. And all it is a little ball pin, I guess, on the end of the bolt. Holds right in there and keeps that all tight. You can see that there's a gap starting. Leg is down, we're good there. We just got to do the other side. Gap should be pretty big by the time we do that. Now there's quite the gap. So if I did this right, just throw it in reverse, back right into the shop. So here's something about Yanko, if you guys don't know. He's not a big sun dog. He doesn't like being in the sun. If you can see, he lays just enough in the shade, and if sun moves, he will move with it. So he was laying right here, but there's the end of the sun. You don't like the sun. You like being cool. You like the AC. For being an Australian cattle dog, aren't you? You're supposed to be used to the heat. But ever since you were a puppy, what do you got back here? You got all sorts of dirt. You're gonna need a bath after corn season. Like a real bath. Take you to a dog groomer. What is that? So, I'm gonna back up right where you're sitting though. I'm just giving you a warning. It's hot today though. That sun feels good. I did just realize I got Perry's radio still. So I got these little Midland ones, and they got a bigger one. Problem is, when you're noisy, you can't really hear stuff. That's what I figured out with these, but at some point we'll get radios. But usually I'm working alone, other than when we're chopping, so. Alrighty. Did I get everything? It sure looks like it, right? Gotta watch out for our line there. There we go. I've ripped that apart. Caught on the wheel before. It's the things you learn. So we'll get it backed up in the shop so we can work on concrete. But that's pretty easy. It took a little bit of figuring that out, that was the easier way of doing it over the years. And then in the field too. If I had an issue, just pop the front off, run with it. Vaco's not impressed that I'm making a move. I know a bunch of people have wrote in the comments, why don't you have a leaf blower blow everything off? Well, having air is really the best. Leaf blower does work. I just used it for blowing off all the dry stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I've never really invested. The backpack blowers was the best. I borrowed my brother's a lot. And that makes blowing off pretty good, but compressed air is really it. And that compressor that's in the shop, that guy hooked us up with, it's been over a year now. That will eventually go on a truck, and then that will make life really nice. But in the meantime, that's where we're at. So I got everything cleaned up. Got to take the cover off, take the belts off. Once the belts are off, really pick it up and pull it out. Take the 2 bolts off, the pins, and the hydraulic line, or hydraulic engagement is this that pushes down and actually drives the head. I was wondering if this is, yeah. We got to make sure we bring a spare belt just in case. That belt's had some life left in it, but belts get expensive, so you run them quite a bit. Got it all stripped down. Just got to throw a chain on there. Might have to take the chain off. I'm trying to think what I got for chains. So wrap a chain around the cutter housing, go back to the forks, pull up the tension on that block so it holds it there, and honestly just back out. Everything else is off. Yeah, we're doing a 1-person job, and we'll see how that goes. So what I did wrong there, it's sitting on the bolt, on one bolt, but not on the other side. But it is out, which is good. We gotta pull all this off, otherwise it doesn't like sharpening. That binds up, so Should only have to sharpen it once for what we're doing for this next corn job. And that should get us through the day, and then maybe one more sharpen. So we do got to fix the one line leaks. And of course, it's all metric stuff. But from here, we got to take that pan off, that intermediate pipe. So go ahead and do that. Pan is off, and it's actually a different pan for when you're doing grass compared to corn, based on how the kernel processor sits and how it hangs. So you got to switch those. Kernel processor takes up that bar. Well, it utilizes the bar on the kernel processor. That way it's all one fluid motion of it coming up through. And then, so that bar comes out, and the kernel processor actually sits right in here. So I got the 4 bolts across the top off. I got 4 there. And from factory, they went through, and there was nuts on the backside, which someday we'll have to re-weld those back on or something. But they got stripped out. Or maybe we'll go to a bigger size, retap it. That probably is our better bet. So I got to figure out how I'm going to be able to, might be able to reach around the back and hold them. Maybe not though, because that cross shaft, this pulley in the back here that you can't really see, that runs across to this pulley, that drives the kernel processor. So there's a shaft that's in the way of getting your hands to it. Well, was able to get behind and just grab onto them, but can't do that really put them on. So we don't have to put that back on, which is a good thing. I think they all drop down, which is good. So we'll get those because we need to keep that hardware. Like we misplaced the other one. So at some point we're going to find that, but we better keep the hardware for now. Got it all blown out, absolutely covered now. I forgot my mask is sitting over there. I should have wore that. Oh. But from here, I would like to actually, well, the roll should be set right because we didn't mess with nothing. I didn't open it up. I didn't even clean it out because, well, you guys know. The grease lines are going to have to get changed this winter because they're getting brittle. But we'll run grease through... Oh. We'll run grease through it when I should have brought my grease gun. But I'll clean this up once I get over here. No point in making a mess over here when I've made a mess over there. So... I think we're a little wide on the gap. But we can adjust that some. So this is different than like Aaron's chopper. Aaron's chopper is all automatically done there. You set it, you tell it what it wants to be. This, you have a wedge, which as we see, our wedge, I think it's loose. So, or you have the stops and you put them, school bus. You put your stops and then your wedge actually opens it up. So as you turn this, it makes it wider. So the chopper originally did come with dowel pins that go down and locked on, so you could do it from above going down. I never got those. I don't think so. So usually I set it and I forget it, and that's about where we go. So I think we're wider than a mill right now, but I wish I did have the feeler gauges. That might not be a bad thing to do beforehand, because you loosen this up and that's your stops, and then your spring actually allows it, so if something bigger went through it, it opened up more. So you can adjust your springs to make it tighter, and that's when large capacity goes through it. You're not supposed to be putting rocks and stuff through a chopper, but people have picked up some foreign material and put them through processors. But overall, this processor is in great shape. It's got some rust on it from it sitting around, but it will clean right up the second we start going. And they're very sharp. You don't want to stick your fingers between that, I'll tell you that. Processor is all gapped. Things are looking good. As we talked about, differentials on the processor, so one roll's turning faster than the other, makes a big difference as far as cracking nut kernels. So if you actually look, that pulley compared to that pulley is different. It's not huge different, but it has some difference to it. So as they're turning, one is turning faster than the other. Later on, they get more aggressive on the pulley size. So, yeah. Really on it, so that works this one. There's this bolt that's always over here. It's always in the way. There we go. Now we're on. We're on bed. Yeah, that was the only way I could do it, was getting it out. So, because when you take this out, it tips forward. This bolt we should really cut, because then it's good. What we gotta do is put that plate on that wraps around here. If you push it too far back, you can't get it on. Take the grease fitting lines, pull this way, and then slide that all the way back to where the bolt holes are. There we have it. Now we just gotta push, which is usually easier said than done. I actually pull the grease lines out of the way, because we'll mount those up after. Don't get your fingers, push too far. Don't get your fingers stuck in anywhere. Got to throw the kernel processor belt on, which means loosening the tensioner pulley there, which you climb up the back side here and reach in. There we go. Get a little step there, get up there. And I do have spare pulleys or spare belts of everything, which we will be bringing with us on the job. But this one is not that old. I think the last time, or when this went on, we did destroy a belt. I heard it come apart behind. You can hear a lot of things in the cab. I heard it start coming apart, and we got lucky. It came apart, and I got enough feet out. I got all the feet out, and we didn't plug it. But I'll loosen that down, and then you slide your pulley in. Then you run your grease lines up so you can reach. And I believe Robert, when he's off work, he's gonna come give me a hand, because putting that back on, you gotta be able to see and guide these pivot points. Doing it by yourself, it's near impossible, because they always are moving unless you get real creative. Plus you gotta slip it around the belts to get in there, then we gotta throw the other belt on. So it's kind of a two-person job from there. It's an absolute two-person job from there. So took me a minute to remember how exactly that went, and so that it was going all the right way. You really can't put them on wrong. Got the tensioner all tensioned up, as you see. There's a spring up in there, so it does have that. Grease lines are run over to here, and we'll zip tie them up here. I don't think I got any zip ties here, but we can do that after. Robert's coming to help me line that up, and then she'll go. Robert, fresh off work. How was your work day?
It was good.
Did you learn anything today?
I learned that good friends bring you lunch.
What about ditches?
Don't get them. If you get in a wet ditch, you're never getting out without a little assistance. Can we try to pull with that bar so you get under it?
I was hoping I'd get underneath it more, but...
Here, wait.
Think? Boom, smack. I don't think I'm gonna. Hey, swap boards. Take that one that's there, and we'll put this one behind the tire. That might be long enough to... Throw it on the back side. That way when we push against it, it goes. Whew. It's hot. Put it in first. Yeah, there you go. Oh, that's mint. The other side is right in the same spot. Wrong up. Watch yourself. Up, down.
Try coming down with it.
Watch your fingers.
Yeah. Coming down. Alright.
There's a hammer on the other side.
Might have to do a love tap.
Little love tap?
Yeah.
You're all about the love tap, aren't you?
Come down with it.
Watch your fingers.
Yeah.
I'm off of it right now.
Go off with it.
take that chain right off of there and I'll back out. And
What was that?
if you take the chain right off, I'll back out. Pretty much together. A few belts, hook up to that other head. Throw the cover, throw the shields on the side, put the KP belt that runs off the front pulley back to the KP. We're good to go. I'll have you, when I pull that down, we're gonna make sure it's not twisted. Why are we twisted? There we go. Now we're not twisted. When we pull that down, wrap it all the way around.
All right.
Because you will lose a finger.
So I should look at all of them now and be thankful I kind
say
of
goodbye. Pick which one you want. Which one you'd like the least?
my thumb.
Alright, throw it on.
The third.
Yeah, the one.
All right, it's on.
Okay. That's good. Now, underneath that. Editing this is going to be challenging. You flipped it over 6 different times. It does take a little bit to edit videos, people.
How are we making out?
We're good. Got everything on the ground except for the shield over here. And as Joe Cruiser years ago told me, never forget to put that shield on. And a few years back, I never put the shield on. We were having issues at night and I turned it on. And this, I think it's $490 belt. That was a year and a half ago or so, which is probably like a $700 belt now. Decided to grenade itself. So then we had to put a new one of that on. Yeah, so, yeah, shields are useful.
Dude, get some just for men. You're looking a little gray up top.
I'm waiting on partnership with them, okay? It's the stress of being around you.
Yeah.
Got the head all blown off the feeder house. And we'll just go hook it up. That easy. Well, we ran out of time because we are doing Tuesday, drive your tractor to Fancy Farmer Day. I guess a bunch of people are bringing stuff, so me and Robert are gonna go get some tractors. But honestly, from here, we gotta pull this head off, which is not that much. Put that head on. We got little things to do. So that will be probably tomorrow night. We'll mess with that. Get that all done. Oh. Shut all the windows. Want to shut the windows in that white truck? I think it's just the driver. We're running behind schedule, but 46 should be good to go. We'll see if the 7520 wants to start this time or not. Yeah, gorgeous night. There's a bunch of tractors already there. So chopper, they were still chopping corn. They ran later, and so I'm not too worried on that. All right, we made it. Fancy Farmer. They ain't gonna be able to figure out. Robert almost didn't have reverse. Did you not figure out reverse for a minute?
I couldn't see it in the dark.
Yeah, excuses. So we'll go around the corner and see. Well, Jimmy's, 2 tractors here. You know, this was in Rantoul. We got Logan Beck's new 1050 Fendt. I think they're in there. There's Jimmy.
You're a little late to the party,
Hey, hey, we're right on time.
Okay.
We're right on time. Doing a walk around. And then out back here, what do we got? $656. We got a new Massey, I believe. I forget which one's which. And then Logan Beck's 7230R. So we're gonna go in and have dinner. That was Jimmy McFadden. We're out in Rantoul. This is his wife's place. So if you're in Sharon Springs, passing through right across from Stewart's, awesome food. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys on the next one. I don't know how dark it is right now, but you guys are awesome. Have a good one.